Before anyone leaves, there's one truth Kelvin forgot to tell all of you.
Kelvin forced a laugh. What nonsense are you talking about? The stranger smiled.
What do you have that you think will make me beg you? Show me. Ask your fiancé.
The word fiancé landed like a bomb. Kelvin's eyes widened. And that was when everyone saw her. A woman slowly rose from a seat near the back row. Gasps spread instantly. Nobody had noticed her before. The woman looked exhausted. Her eyes were swollen from crying. The woman wiped tears from her face and pointed directly at Kelvin. Tell them who I am. Kelvin's face lost all color. The silence became unbearable.
Tell them who I am. Tell them now or I will. Tell them now, Kelvin. You have no choice.
My name is Sandra. Her voice trembled. I've been engaged to Kelvin for 2 years. The reaction was immediate.
My name is Sandra. I've been engaged to Kelvin for 2 years, and I'm carrying his baby.
What? Oh my, is it true?
Amara's legs nearly gave way beneath her. Kelvin suddenly found his voice. She's lying. The crowd immediately turned toward him. Sandra stared at him. Then shook her head.
She's lying! Don't listen to her! Sandra, stop this nonsense!
The stranger approached the projector system. This time nobody tried to stop him. Not even Kelvin. Because everyone wanted answers. The screen flickered. A photograph appeared. The entire hall stared. It showed Kelvin and Sandra standing together during what looked like a family gathering. They were smiling. Comfortable. Close. The next photograph appeared. Kelvin was on one knee, holding a ring. Sandra covered her mouth.
Sandra, you are my everything. Will you marry me?
Oh, Kelvin, yes, 1,000 times yes.
I love you so much.
I love you too, forever.
The atmosphere shifted rapidly. Only minutes earlier, everyone had been focused on Amara's betrayal. Now the spotlight was moving. And it was moving directly toward Kelvin. Amara felt sick. Her mind replayed every conversation she had ever had with him. Every gift. Every compliment. The stranger connected his phone completely to the projector. A video appeared. Sandra immediately lowered her head. The footage began playing. It showed Kelvin speaking directly into a camera. His arm was wrapped around Sandra. Both of them looked happy. Excited. In love. I can't wait to marry you. Kelvin's recorded voice echoed through the venue. Sandra started crying harder. The guests listened in stunned silence. I promise I'll always choose you. The video continued. I promise I'll always protect our family. Someone in the crowd whispered, God have mercy. The date appeared on the screen. 3 weeks ago. Only 3 weeks. The entire hall erupted. 3 weeks ago Kelvin had still been actively chasing Amara. 3 weeks ago he was still sending messages. Still meeting her. Still pretending she mattered. Meanwhile he was making promises to another woman carrying his child. The hypocrisy was staggering. Kelvin's jaw tightened. His hands formed fists. The image he had carefully crafted was collapsing. Sandra stepped forward, looking directly at Amara. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Sandra finally broke the silence. I didn't come here to embarrass you. Amara stared at her. Confused. Heartbroken. Ashamed. Sandra shook her head. If I wanted revenge, I could have exposed all this months ago. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I came because this man ruined both our lives. Kelvin avoided her gaze. You never loved either of us.
Kelvin, how could you?
Sandra, I can explain.
You never loved me. You never loved her either.
That's not true, Sandra.
Lies.
The stranger stepped forward again. He looked at Kelvin. Then looked at the crowd. Then looked at Sandra. You haven't told them everything. Sandra closed her eyes. For several seconds she appeared hesitant. Almost afraid. As though she understood that revealing the next truth would change everything forever.
Kelvin, I can't. There's something else.
Don't do it!
I have to.
Don't do it, please!
It's too late.
Sandra slowly reached into her handbag. The entire hall watched. She removed a thick brown envelope. Immediately Kelvin lunged forward. Sandra looked directly at him. Her voice was calm.
Tell them where the wedding money came from.
Sandra grabbed the microphone with trembling hands. The hall that had already witnessed one scandal was about to witness another. My father owns the company Kelvin works for. The statement instantly silenced the crowd. Kelvin's face hardened. Don't listen to her, he snapped. But Sandra was prepared. She pulled out a brown folder and handed it to the man beside the projector. Within seconds, documents began appearing on the giant screen. Bank statements, transfer receipts, account records. Guests stared in disbelief as transaction after transaction flashed before them. Millions of naira had moved through several accounts over the past year. At first, nobody understood what they were looking at. Then Sandra explained. 3 months earlier, her father's company discovered large sums of money were missing. Internal investigations pointed to Kelvin. Then a familiar name appeared on the projector. Amara's father. The entire hall turned toward him. His face immediately lost color. Amara stared at him. Dad? He said nothing. Sandra continued. Months ago, Kelvin had approached him with what sounded like a perfect investment opportunity. He promised massive returns within a short period. Desperate to increase his wealth before the wedding, Amara's father secretly invested a large amount of money. What he didn't know was that the business never existed. The money vanished, and rather than admit his mistake, he kept it hidden from everyone. Amara felt another piece of her world collapse. The expensive gifts Kelvin had showered her with suddenly made sense. The designer bags, none of it came from success. It came from stolen money. Sandra then revealed that Kelvin had continued stealing even after their engagement.
Kelvin, you stole the money for our baby.
No, Sandra, I didn't. That's a lie.
You did. I have proof.
Sandra, please.
This was for our child.
Then something unexpected happened. Several police officers entered the venue. The officers walked directly toward Kelvin. The confidence he had carried all day disappeared instantly. He glanced around the room searching for a way out. One officer instructed him to remain where he was. Instead, Kelvin took a step backward. Then another. Without warning, he turned and bolted toward the exit. The officer immediately chased after him. The wedding venue erupted into confusion. Some people ran outside to watch. Others remained frozen in their seats. Within seconds, Kelvin disappeared into the streets beyond the hall. The officers followed, but by the time the commotion settled, he was gone. Completely gone. No arrest, no explanation. They believed the worst was finally over. They were wrong, because while everyone focused on Kelvin's secrets, another truth was quietly waiting in the shadows. A truth connected to Tobi. 3 weeks passed after the wedding disaster. The decorations were gone. The family stopped speaking. Kelvin remained missing. And Tobi completely disappeared from Amara's life. Every day she called him. Every day she received nothing. No replies, no explanations, no closure. The silence became worse than the humiliation. For 4 years, Tobi had been her safest place. Now he was a stranger. Then one afternoon, a message arrived. Just 6 words. Meet me one last time. Her heart nearly stopped. They met at a quiet restaurant where they had celebrated their first anniversary years earlier. The place held memories neither of them could escape. When Tobi arrived, Amara immediately noticed something different. He looked tired, not physically, emotionally, like someone carrying a burden too heavy to share. For several minutes, neither spoke. Then Amara finally broke down. She apologized for Kelvin, for the lies, for the secrets, for everything that had happened. Tears streamed down her face as she begged for another chance. Tobi listened without interrupting, quietly placed a brown envelope on the table. Open it. A Confused, she did. Inside were old photographs, medical documents, several printed records, and a DNA report. At first, none of it made sense. She looked up. What is this? Tobi remained calm. The reason I ended everything wasn't Kelvin. Amara frowned. He confessed that he had another family. She blinked, not understanding. What does that have to do with us? Without answering immediately, Tobi pushed one photograph toward her. It was an old picture taken decades earlier. A younger version of his father stood beside a woman. Amara froze. The woman was her mother. Her hands started trembling. No! Tobi pushed the final document toward her. The DNA report. His voice almost broke. I didn't want to believe it either. Amara's eyes scanned the paper, then scanned it again. The words remained the same. There was no mistake, no confusion, no alternative interpretation. The results confirmed a biological relationship, a close biological relationship, one that should have made marriage impossible. The color drained from her face. Tobi? He closed his eyes briefly. We share the same father. Everything stopped. The restaurant disappeared. The noise around them disappeared. Even breathing became difficult. 4 years. 4 years of love, 4 years of memories, 4 years of planning a future. Every moment suddenly became something neither of them could process. Neither had known, neither had chosen it, yet both would have to live with it forever. Tears filled Tobi's eyes. Not because of Kelvin, not because of the wedding, not because of betrayal, but because the life he wanted had never truly existed. For a long time, neither spoke. There was nothing left to say. Tobi quietly stood up. Amara did not stop him. This time, she knew there was no point. He walked toward the exit without looking back, and when the door finally closed behind him, Amara remained alone at the table, staring at the DNA report that had destroyed everything. The wedding was over, the love story was over, and for the first time she understood that some endings cannot be fixed, no matter how much time passes.